I can understand why people buy them and then just want to do laps and laps. Yeah. It's intoxicating. It's intoxicating. It's Danny Sullivan it was, wasn't it, who said adrenaline the drug that you can't buy. Well, you can. And you spell it Radical.
Well, you spell it SR3, I think. But in terms of your, for you, having driven GT cars before, what was your sort of preconception in terms of what it would be like and the biggest surprise?
I thought I wouldn't be quick enough for it. I wouldn't be able to handle it. I thought everything would happen too fast. I thought it would be like having scaffolding poles instead of shock absorbers. I thought it was going to be, really, really harsh. And there's a difference, isn't there, between being direct and being harsh. And it really is like that steering wheel is connected like the cart is, straight down and then onto the steering. I know there's a steering rack there because I've seen it. But if I hadn't seen it, you would have thought, that's just direct cart steering. Because the moment you do it, you feel it in your backside, you feel the car moving. And my preconception was, having not done any amount of, in fact, never competed in a single seater. I only drove single seaters a couple of times. Formula Ford 1600. The first year they went to the sort of slick tyres, and then I drove a Formula Ford 2000. And I thought, I'm too old for this. I'm not going to be able to keep up with the car. But the way that Roger has taken me through the day has allowed me to build up my confidence very quickly. And I haven't done a sim session, which I would normally have done before coming to something like this, because I don't drive enough. And I have no right to have had as much fun as I've just had today, wet, dry. And it's been lovely to work with Roger, who has made me think about what I'm doing, where I'm placing the car. And the pure act of doing that, Roger, actually slows down what's going on in the car. Because I'm talking to myself in my head. You know what I do for a living. I talk about racing cars. So I can hear him, and I'm just repeating what he said. You want to be on that curb. Don't forget to go out there. I'll spank you if you don't go over the one at the exit of McLean's. That is all in my head every time I go around, and every time you go across the start line, you reset. You start again, and it starts another lap. And so to be able to build in that way has been mega. The toolbox, Roger gave me the tools, and it's been brilliant. And what I think come away with is how forgiving the car is, how it transmits all the right noises, actually not right noises, all the right feelings, although the noise is outstanding just when you're about to change up at nearly 10,000 revs, by the way. But it's giving me enough time. Have I dropped it a couple of times? Yeah, I have. But even in dropping it, I've had time to get my foot on the clutch and keep the engine running. And even making those mistakes has helped the learning process. I can't think of another car like this that I would have had the confidence to come and do this in. When you guys asked me to do it, I had a big long think about it, because I don't have any of this type of experience. And
particularly downforce.
Downforce is the thing. I had a long think about it, and my wife Eve said, well, if they're going to give you a test, at least you'll find out. Aye, all right. And if you don't do it, you know you'll whinge and moan that you haven't done it, because you'll wish you had. So I asked a few drivers that I know in the States. I asked a few drivers I know over here. And everybody said, no, you must do it because you love it. But I can understand now why people go, no, I think I'll just stay here in the SR3, thanks very much. Because it's great. Honestly, you could spend 4, 5, 10 times as much money, not have as much fun, and not feel as though you will learn. See, I feel I've learned something today. Whereas, I could have jumped into, let's say I'd jumped into an LMP3, which everybody says lovely cars to drive, but would I have learned as much? No, I'd have been terrified. Would I have got anything out of it? I would have made sure I got something out of it. But would I have enjoyed it and learned something and come away thinking, well, I'm looking forward to the race weekend now? Thinking back on what you said to me, Roger, at the start of the day, about driving it properly, not taking liberties, driving it properly, getting yourself settled before you get the car turned in, getting the gear shifts done, getting on the brake hard, getting off the brake, not trailing, not picking up the throttle. Basically, it's proper driving, isn't it? It's proper driving technique. And in a world where electronics is taking over everything, isn't it nice to go back to an analog car? Now, all right, I know it's got the paddle shift, but you've got you can't take any liberties. There's no ABS, and if you're, I was loving taking in the wet 10 metres out of the GT4 cars because I know it still takes some driving. Don't get me wrong, but I know it's the electronics that's slowing them down. It's me and what I can feel, and me left foot. Sometimes my right foot, which wasn't as good as my left foot, which I've got to go and work out why that was. It's me that's doing that. And isn't there a sense of achievement about that, where you think to yourself, actually, all right, well done me. And I still don't think I'm ever going to break a track record, but I feel I've achieved something today. Thank you. Proper accessible racing car that... you can be a bit scared when you get into it, but it'll allow you to go along at your own pace. I have no doubt that there'll be people who get just as much fun out of it as I do, who go way quicker, and there'll be just as much fun going a bit slower. I can't believe many people go much slower, but I think it's a great product. It's a great product, and the fact that you guys are running the race series for it as well is absolutely the best way to do it.